Hey guys, it's Dineo. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am doing a college advice video on how I got into UW Madison on Wisconsin, baby. I got a request from someone to do this video. So this is the first video in my college application series. Since I'm home, I figured I have the time to film. If you guys have any suggestions on videos you want to see, totally let me know. I do know that UW's early decision and early action, what do you call it? Not reviews. What do you call that? When the decisions are going to be coming out later this month, and I know that regular decision closes in February, so I figured this was kind of a perfect time to upload this video. I have my computer here with me, so if you see me look down, it's because I have some notes on my computer. Now let's get into the application to UW Madison. So let's start with classes. You may love them, you may hate them. I personally did not enjoy high school. I had a lot of classes I hated, but they helped me. They helped me get into school. UW Madison's website recommends that all applicants for freshman year of college take 4 years of English, 4 years of math, and they also wrote on their website you should take 1 year of algebra, geometry, or advanced math. And in parentheses, they wrote, does not include computer science, statistics, or business math. So my way of interpreting this, I guess, is most high schools, I feel teach algebra, geometry, and then advanced math, aka calculus or pre-calc. And other schools also teach computer science, stats, and then business math, meaning econ or accounting. I understand that some schools may not offer this, so if you're able to take it as an elective, I would highly recommend doing that, especially if you kind of know early on that you want to go to UW and that's something you really want to do. I would highly recommend signing up for those classes so that you can fulfill that requirement. They recommend that you take 3 to 4 years of social science. At my school, social science was sociology, psychology, I don't know what else. 3 to 4 years of science, 3 to 4 years of a single foreign language. So basically, you can't be that kid who takes French, Japanese, Spanish, Latin. You can't be that kid. You can, but you have to have taken at least one of those 2 or 3 or 4 languages that you're taking for 3 to 4 years. And then it says that you need 2 additional academic or fine arts credits. So basically, at my school, this would have been theater, fashion design, drawing, sculpting. We had a lot of arts at my school, which is nice. That's the recommended courses. So now I'm going to get into the courses that I took that fulfilled this, so that if you're a high school junior, you might be able to be oh, okay, I should probably look into taking this class because it helps with UW. My junior year, I took AP English Language, Spanish, Algebra 2, non-honors chemistry, because my school has honors and non-honors, AP US History. Hated that class. So I would not recommend taking AP US, but I know some schools require it. If anything, I would take normal US history. I took theater and I took wellness, which was gym. Senior year, I took theater, AP European history, AP composition and literature, personal finance, which was required at my school in order to graduate, non-honors physics, non-honors pre-calc, and sociology. So I mentioned before, for the fine art credit, I was lucky enough that I took theater all 4 years of high school, so that counted towards that. So the next thing that UW looks at is your grades. Essentially, junior year is the year that colleges are mainly looking at your grades because they can see your year-round grades to see what type of student you are. But if you get accepted and you commit, a lot of schools will ask you to send your senior year grades. But I would definitely say that junior year grades are important, but so are senior years. Junior year, I had all A's and B's, and my ending GPA ended up being a 3.797 out of 4.0. I don't exactly remember their average accepted GPA, like the average accepted student's GPA. I can probably put it on the screen. The next thing that the application composes is essays. People have very different opinions about essays. I personally am a very good essay writer. I suck at test taking. You guys will see in a bit when I tell you my test scores. Anywho, the essay for UW, there are 2 essays. You have to submit your Common App essay, and then there's a supplemental question which you answer kind of in essay form. I answered it in like 2 paragraphs. Oh, also I forgot to mention that UW has 2 different applications that you can do. So like if you're a Wisconsin resident, you can fill out the UW system applications. Like it could go to all those different universities in the state, or you could fill out the Common App. Common App essay, I think they normally give you 6 different prompts and then you can answer it, and it has to be within 650 words. I did the prompt that was like, make your own prompt, because I just couldn't really think of anything for the other 2, but I did really like my Common App essay. It's honestly probably like one of my favorite things that I've ever written. A tip I would have for you guys, really make sure your Common App essay is true to yourself. Like in high school, like all my teachers would be like, you want your Common App essay to be undeniably you. Like you want it to be if someone dropped all the papers on the floor and mixed them all up and picked yours up, like people would read it and be like, oh, that's Dineo. And even if you're like, I don't really know who I am, like I'm still trying to figure it out, that is fine. Like write about that. But most of the essay prompts would ask you about yourself. The second like essay part of the application is the supplemental question. The question I'm pretty sure stays the same, because I had to answer this question last year, and it's the same question for this year's application. So the question says, tell us why you would like to attend the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In addition, please include why you are interested in studying the major or majors you have selected. If you selected undecided, please describe your areas of possible academic interest. I feel like the question is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to quickly go over like what I wrote about to kind of give you guys ideas. Essentially, the first thing that you notice is there are 2 different parts of the question. Number 1, tell us why you want to attend UW, and then number 2, talk about why you're interested in your selected intended majors, or if you're undecided, what areas you're interested in. Yeah, so for the first part, I mainly just talked about the opportunities that UW would offer me if I went there, and that's why I was interested in it. For the second part of the question about my major, when I applied, my intended major was international studies. I talked about like my major at the program. So I would say when talking about the major you're interested in or areas you're interested in, use the school's website. And this isn't just for UW, like this could go for any other school where you have to talk about your major and what you're interested in with your major, as well as like what you're interested in the school. Use the school's website. The school's website has so many resources. Like all you have to do is just dig. And I feel like that's what helped a lot of my supplementals do well, is because I really was on the school website and I went to academics, and then I went to College of Letters and Science, and then I went to International Studies major, and then I went to the courses, like, and then I wrote about like, oh, I really want to take African Studies 154 because it seems so interesting that they teach you a new language, blah, 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 blah. If you know, I want to be a business major and I want to do marketing, go to the school's business school website, go to the major marketing, look at the courses, look at the internship opportunities, look at the clubs, whatever, and really talk about like what you're interested in that it offers. Like be as specific as possible, because I feel like that helps them to see that like you really are interested in the school. You took the time to learn more. The next part is test scores. As I mentioned before, I am not a good test taker. It's just blah. But good news for all of you lucky ducklings who are applying to UW this year. Test scores have been waived due to COVID. Are you ready for this? Yeah, test scores have been waived. So that basically just means that like if you weren't able to take the test due to COVID and quarantining and restrictions, Don't worry about it. They're not going to use it. I also know that UW is currently working to make that like a permanent thing where they're going to be a test optional school where you don't have to submit test scores. When I applied, you did have to submit test scores. So for UW, I only submitted the ACT. I did take the SAT and ACT, which this is another thing I would recommend. Take both tests. I would recommend taking both tests at least once, just so you can kind of see which test is your forte and which one you're good at, and then you can always take it again and try and get a better score. My SAT scores was a 1090. The second time I took it, I got an 1120. Once again, I don't remember what the average acceptance at SAT score is for UW. If I took the ACT and I got a 28 on English, 17 on math, 19 on reading, and a 24 on science. And then I took it again in December and I did better. I got a 27 in English, 21 in math, 28 in reading, and a 22 in science. I submitted my ACT scores to UW. I submitted both. So yeah, that's my test scores. They weren't great, but they were good enough, I guess. But once again, test scores are not becoming a big thing anymore. They really do the holistic approach. So this isn't like a recipe. This isn't like, oh, you need 3/4 of this grade and 2/4 of this test score to get into UW, and poof, there you go. I'm basically just saying, like, this is what I did and this is what I had as grades, test scores, whatever, that helped me to get in. For other test scores that I submitted my AP exam scores, because most colleges you can get college credit for your AP exams. I took AP English language my junior year and I got a 3 on the exam. I took AP US history junior year and got a 3 on the exam. I took AP Euro my senior year and got a 2 on the exam. And then I took the AP literature and composition exam my senior year and I got a 3. So the next section is the recommendation letters. Now, recommendation letters, folks, really are not that important. They're just really not. They're more so for a school to get an idea on who you are as a person from another person. So I would say for recommendation letters, definitely get people to do them who know you the best. I asked my theater teacher, because I had taken theater all 4 years of high school. My theater teacher knew me pretty well. And I did have an interest in film. So I was like, it'd be great if he could do my recommendation letter. And then the second teacher I asked was my math teacher from junior year, Miss Levesque. I became really close with her. I literally ate lunch with her every single day senior year. I hope she's doing well. I don't think she's watching this video, but if you are, hi, Miss Levesque. You were a great teacher. Don't really pay attention to what subject they teach, as long as you know that they will write a good letter on your behalf. Involvement and resume. Your resume. Totally cutting that out. Anywho, there's 2 ways that you can put in your involvement and resume for the application. There's the extracurricular section of the Common App. This is literally a pain to fill out, but basically if you do it for your normal Common App, they'll just send it to every single school. But it basically asks you the name of the activity or organization that you participated in, how many hours a week, how many hours a month, or how many days out of the month and weeks out of the year. I don't know. It's weird. You can do that, or you can submit your resume. I think I did both. So on my resume, I pretty much listed my employment, any awards I had received, extracurriculars that I participated in, and then I also listed my skills. So basically interpersonal skills, communication, organization. For the resume that you submit, I would really use it as a high school resume, because once again, colleges are really just looking at your high school grades and what you did in high school. For me, on my resume for employment, I wrote down that I worked at a daycare and I worked at Marshall's. So I would say if you're in high school and you have a job, even if it's answering phone calls at your dad's office over the summer, write that down, because they want to see that you're getting involved outside of school as well as inside of school. I also wrote down the awards that I had. I wrote down that I was a part of National Honor Society my junior and senior year, and I also wrote down that I had made the honor roll all 4 years of high school. So then I also wrote down the clubs I did. So once again, I only wrote down the stuff that I did during high school, but even if I did it for a year, I wrote it down. I wrote down that I was in student council all 4 years of high school. I was student council president my senior year. I also was a student council representative for the class of 2020. And I was the school culture co-chair. I did theater all 4 years of high school, and I wrote down that I took classes in theater, and I also did the shows. I also wrote down volunteering that I did. So I altar served at my church all throughout high school. And I did this Helping Feed Hartford. It was like a Pepsi event. Then I wrote down that I was a part of my school's recenter, which was racial equity training. I did model UN. I danced my freshman year because after that I stopped. I did track my freshman year, and then I ran off the track and back home because I didn't do track again after that. And I was a part of Future Business Leaders of America. But that was pretty much all the involvement and stuff I put on my resume. That is the end of the video. So that is how I got into UW. Those are my stats. Those are my extracurriculars. Those are my classes that I took, that I did. But yeah, so that is my first video in the college application series. If you guys have any other questions about UW, feel free to comment them down below or DM me on Instagram. On Wisconsin, go Bucky, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!